welcome back, or if you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Leah. Thank you so much for joining me here today. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a tag. It is the second one to Samantha March and Ali Glines' makeup palette tag. This is volume 2, round 2, whatever you may want to call it. I wasn't going to do this video today, but then I was watching Sarah from Better Off Red, and I'm like, hey, that's interesting. I think I'll switch my video and do this today instead. So that's what I'm doing. So thanks, Sarah. As I mentioned, this is round 2. I did round 1 a year and a half ago, something like that. So I will link it down in the description box if you are curious to go and see it. I can't remember what I said and what my answers are, and I'm quite frankly too lazy to go back and watch it. So if there's repeats, I'm sorry. But anyway, this is what I have for round 2. So forgive me. I'm going to have to hold my book up closer because I can't see that far away without my glasses on. So the first one is your all-time favorite palette, and this has been my favorite palette for a long time, and it is very, I don't think anyone's really ever even heard of it. I got it in a subscription box, and the only people I ever heard talk about it were those that got this particular box, which was just one that not many people got. But anyway, it is from the brand Laqa, and it's called the Desert Mirage palette. As far as I know, this isn't available anymore, but it's the color story. It's everything. The outside packaging and the way it looks, and then the colors inside, they're just light and airy. If I want to wear a bit of color, I can go with that, or I can go more neutral. They're just really pretty, and I love this palette. It's an all-around great product from the outside packaging to the inside, and whenever I see it, it makes me happy, and I've always enjoyed the looks that I get when I use this particular palette. A new favorite is this, and it's not new to the makeup world by any means, but it is the BH Cosmetics Crystal Zodiac palette. I had the hardest time getting my hands on this. I think it was Ulta exclusive at one point, which is not available here in Canada. Ulta does not ship to Canada anymore. They did for a very brief time, and now they don't. I ended up ordering this from Beauty Bay, I think, and the shipping on this was astronomical, and then I got charged duty and taxes. So this palette cost me close to $100. Shouldn't have cost me that, but anyway, it did. But that aside, I love the colors in this. I love that it has all the mattes. I love that it has the shimmers in here, which are beautiful. Yes, they're marbled and you don't get that look on your eye, but the color that comes through when you mix them together is really, really pretty. I love this palette. Every look I've come up with this, every look that I've made with this particular palette, I've really enjoyed. I have the original version of this too, which I was able to just order. No, I got it from Winners. So I didn't pay shipping. I just walked into a store and got it. Anyway, I digress. I have the original palette. I really like it too, but this is definitely a new favorite of the palettes that I picked up in 2021. Palette that I am keeping for the memories is this one from Sephora. It is the Overcast palette. The quality in it isn't great. It's very muted. There's not much, it's chalky, it's powdery. I almost never wear it, but my husband bought it. It's one of the first palettes that he ever walked into Sephora and bought me. Funny story, when he walked in, they asked him if he was buying makeup for himself or for somebody else. He thought it was a bit awkward, but it was for somebody else, for me. But this is one that he actually bought for me and didn't just get me a gift card. So this is one I'm definitely keeping for the memories. The quality definitely isn't there, but the memories are. Next one is underrated, and for that one I have two. They kind of go together, and they're by Tarte, and I have the Tarteist Pro and then the Tarteist Pro Remix. I really enjoy these palettes. This one is great if you just like neutral colors. It's so simple. Everything's lined out for you. The quality in here is really nice. It's really good. I've used it in my kit before as well, so it's good for a makeup artist because you got lots of different looks. Like you can go cool, or you can go warm, or you can go a little bit smoky and sultry. You can fit a lot in with this particular palette. So I like this, and I think it's very underrated. The other one, again, is the Tarte Remix Pro, and I like this one out of the two better just because it's more my style. It has 3 mattes, which is more than enough for me to do, you know, set my eyeshadow primer, have a brow bone color, whatever, have a transition, and then deepen up my outer shade or my outer corner. And then you have all these beautiful colors in here. I love mixing the colors as well. I love mixing the colors as well. I've come up with quite a few unique color color looks out of this just by mixing them, but on their own they're beautiful as well. It's a really palette to use because you just put the transition in, you put the shimmer on your lid, and if you want to deepen it up, you can do that as well. So super easy to use, especially if you want to get into color, and the colors in here are really pretty. A palette that I can't get rid of is this Moira palette, and it's called Dreamscapes, and it's not that it's a bad palette, it's just very, very bright. And there was a time not long ago where this would have been right up my alley, and the brighter the better, and that's what I'm wearing. But that's not the case anymore. I do like color from time to time, but the bright neon colors definitely aren't something I'm gravitating towards. However, I don't want to get rid of this because I have almost like the FOMO type of thing, like if I get rid of it, what if I need it type of thing, and what if I miss out on an opportunity with a client or something like that. So I keep it even though I have no intention of using it unless absolutely necessary. Favorite collaboration, and this one I'm sure will be on a lot of people's list this year, and it's by Kaleidos. It's the Club Nebula palette by Angelica Nyquist, something like that. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. The packaging is bulky, but it is beautiful. It fits the theme of everything that goes on with it. And then if you haven't seen it, this is what it looks like. Again, a colorful palette, but you can get some neutral looks out of it as well. It has some very unique shades in it, and if you want to use the color in it, I mean, they're not so obnoxious that you're gonna feel like a clown. Not that you would feel like a clown, maybe you would, maybe you, anyway, doesn't matter. I like this palette. It's my favorite collaboration from 2021. Did it come out in 2021? I think it did. I bought it in 2021. Yeah, I think a 2021 favorite. For me, that would be my Viseart palettes. I did get, which one was it? The ChouChou palette, I believe. I have a bunch of them here. So I have the Petit, I can't say it. So I have the Petit Pro Trois here. I have the Petit Pro Deux. I also have the Solstice. I have the ChouChou and the Midsommer palette. I also have the Soleil palette. Now, the reason why these are a 2021 favorite is because I believe I got the ChouChou palette 2 years ago, and I didn't really like it when I first got it. I was disappointed in it. I was expecting there to be just a bit more oomph to the shadows and stuff in here. The mattes were nice, but I was expecting a lot more from this silver here and this pink, and I didn't get it. However, my mind changed on this in September of 2020. My grandmother passed away, and I ended up wearing this palette to her funeral. It was a 4-hour drive there. We stayed for the funeral and a family gathering, and then we drove home afterwards. And by the time I got home, even with a little bit of crying and tearing up, this had held up beautifully on my eyes. It looked exactly the same as when I applied it in the morning. The quality was outstanding. So the reason why these are 2021 favorites is because even though I kind of grew to love it in 2020, my collection exploded in 2021 with these Viseart palettes. So you might not get the punch of color that you're looking for, but you can build them up by simply wetting the shimmers if you need to, or putting an extra sticky base down, a glitter glue or a shadow stick or something like that. The mattes in here blend beautifully, and the lasting power on these. I always wear an eye primer anyway, so it helps probably a little bit, but the lasting power on it lasted way longer than any of my other shadows do with an eye primer as well. So I was super impressed with these, and so now I'm getting them whenever they come out. But again, I'm trying to restrain myself because not all of them are available here in Canada, and buying them off Beautylish or Beauty Bay or even the Viseart website it comes with its challenges with shipping and then additional costs of duty and taxes. So I really love those Viseart palettes. In general, in 2021, Viseart wormed its way into my heart, and now I love them and I want them all. Hey everyone, this is future Leah. I actually forgot to do 2 questions, so I'm just popping these in here to add to this video. So the first question that I forgot is, where did it go? A palette I didn't expect to love. And for that one, I chose the Voss HG Fun Size palette. This was the first palette I had from Voss. I had never tried her shadows before. A friend had offered me a couple of palettes to choose from, and I chose this one. And I was just surprised at how much I really enjoyed the Voss formula. I now have several palettes from her, but this was my first kind of taste of it. And yeah, I really like it. I think Violet Voss is kind of becoming an underrated brand. It kind of had a heyday for a bit, but the brand is consistent. Its formula is really good, and every time I use this palette, I really enjoy the looks that I come up with, and the other palettes that I have, it's the same thing as well. So the palette that I didn't expect to love was this. I got it without any expectations, actually. I was hoping I would like it, but I was surprised at how much I actually do love it. The other question that I ended up forgetting is a palette that sparks joy, and for that one I picked a new one that I have, because quite frankly this could change all the time, but it's from ColourPop, and it's the So Fly palette. It looks like this. It has a dragonfly on the front, and then this is what it looks like in the inside. It's just a really pretty palette. Some would say nothing spectacular, but dragonflies hold a special place in my heart. I was mentioning this before. When I was younger, dragonflies were kind of my thing. When I got married, I had it on a lot of the decor that I had picked out and just what people were picking for me. But it also holds another spot, and this might sound stupid, but the dragonflies themselves bring me joy, and my mom passed away 8 years ago, and I believe firmly that she's in heaven, but every summer we have some dragonflies that kind of zip and zoom over our pool, and quite often they land on the deck and just sit there, and I can take pictures of them, and yeah, I mean, no one's bothering them, so they're landing and they're bugs, but at the same time, my mom, pardon me, at the same time, my mom knew how much I enjoy dragonflies, and a part of me just, it's not that I think she's a dragonfly coming down to visit me or anything like that, but it reminds me of my mom, and it just kind of brings me that peace, and yeah, so they hold a special place in my heart, even though I'm not all that keen on the decor of them anymore. So yeah, this brings me joy. I also really like this firefly one, or lightning bug, whatever it is. They're springy, so that too, because I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for the snow to melt and go away, and yeah. So the newest palette to my collection is from ColourPop, and it is the So Fly palette. It looks like this, and I had purchased the day before I bought this one. Again, ordered it from the States because I can't get it here just by going into an Ulta or anything. So I had put an order in with ColourPop the day before I ordered this. And I had ordered, where is it? I had ordered a few things. I took advantage of their 30% off sale. But I had ordered the Glow Getter palette. Beautiful palette. I love it. But I didn't really pay much attention to this palette. I don't know why, because it's absolutely beautiful inside. But then I was on Instagram looking at Trend Mood, and I realized this is a dragonfly. And dragonflies are just my thing. Like when I got married 20 years ago, everything had a dragonfly. All my decorations that I got for my wedding and for my shower, everything. It was to the point I didn't want dragonfly stuff anymore. But people were still giving it to me. I still like dragonflies. I've always said that if I got a tattoo, it'd probably be of a dragonfly or a pickle, because if you get a pickle, it will only get better with age. Just a little theory I have. I have neither. I have no plans on getting either tattoo. Anyway, dragonflies hold a special place in my heart. So when I realized on the Trend Mood page that this was a dragonfly palette, I went back on and ordered it right away and had it sent along with the little duo Super Shock shadows that went along with this one. So this is newest to my collection, even though like 2 days before that I had gotten another order in with about 6 other palettes. So this is the newest. And the last one is the first used palette in 2022. Now I'm not completely sure on what palette I used first. I didn't keep track. I wasn't aware of this tag. But going back on my Instagram within the first week or two in January, I had done a post, and it was with this palette, which is the Lorac Mega Pro 4 palette. It's not available anymore, but it is an oldie but a goodie. I love this one. This is the look that I ended up coming up with that I had on my Instagram. But yeah, this is one of the first palettes, at least, that I used in 2022. Okay, that is the finished tag. As always, if you are a creator here on YouTube, I tag you to go and do this tag. I would be interested to hear what all your answers are for this tag and what's in your collection, because it's fun. So yeah, do it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any of these palettes, or answer them in the comments if you don't have a channel. Would love to hear. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.